Hey everyone, welcome back to another client interview with Martell. Absolutely crushing the beauty space. When I say beauty space, I don't mean the typical med spa. You're doing something a little bit more unique. It's hair salons, which is really, really cool. His company's called Focus417. Martell, give me a really quick background on the agency, how you got into it, that kind of stuff.
So for me, I started off as a videographer. So like I was doing video production stuff. Back when I was in school, I was doing more live production. Then COVID hit, and then I started to kind of get my own camera, started to do my own thing there. And then what I realized is after, that kind of business wasn't going to take me to where I was trying to go to, or what I believed that the vision was for it. And so I had to figure out something else, but I actually didn't have anybody near me to kind of show me what I didn't know. Like there was a lot of unknown unknowns. And
Yep.
so I ended up working for a business, and this is when I kind of got introduced to advertising. I realized that my skill in video, paired with some ad dollars and some solid targeting, makes magic happen. Like it was crazy. And so like they completely took off, but it also kind of planted the seed like, oh my goodness, I know something. Like there's something here. And so I went down the rabbit hole trying to figure out how this advertising side works, how to kind of build this thing for people, tested my own skills outside of the company, and then eventually, in October of 2024, left that company, start building Focus 417.
That's it's about skill stacking, right? It's like what Homoji talks about. It's like you take something and you add on like something else, and then all of a sudden you just level up your whole earning potential, which is basically what's happened, which is
Most
beautiful.
definitely.
Yeah. And so where did we get into hair salons? How did that happen?
So it was actually a lot of testing. I mean, the same process as you would go through to kind of figure out a winning ad, is how I kind of found my lane. Like a lot of the gurus were like when I got a lot of courses, books, programs. I read it all. Like I'm telling you, all of it. And like most of it would say, pick a lane, stay in it, don't leave, don't pick your head up until, you're at $30,000 a month.
Yep.
And I picked a lane and it sucked. Like it was terrible. And so I realized like, okay, wait a minute. I think the same kind of process that I would go to find an ad because I was good at that. I'm like, let me try this a little bit more. Let me widen this a bit. So work with restaurants, work with a roofing business, videography business, photography business, work with like I think it was up to like 15 different like niches, and then realized like there was pros and cons to each of them, and the one that I liked working with the most, the one that was also available, and the one that I can get the highest result for in the shortest amount of time ended up being the personal care. So
Mm.
it narrowed it down to barbershop, spas, and salons. And then after I realized that dudes suck, and I xed out barbershops, and then there was the spa and the salon, and then I just had way more dramatic results with the hair salon, and so ended up lasering it down to there, and now we're lasering it down even further, to a specific type of client inside of a hair salon. So now we're super
That's
niche.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what people ask me all the time, what niche, and it's like it doesn't matter. There are so many niches out there. You can like just test it, find the one you like the most. And then beyond that, a lot of people say they've niched down when they go into like med spa. They're like, yeah, I've niched down. It's like no, or dental. They're like, I've niched down. It's like that's not a niche. Dental isn't a niche. Like dental is like a niche, and then you've got implants, you've got
Yep.
Invisalign, you've got like you've got and as you scale your agency, it becomes really hard to scale if you just do like med spa because of what Morpheus 8, semaglutide, Bose. You got all these different things people do, and it's like it's still you have the same problem of like having to do redo ads all the time and figure out what's working. And
Yep.
that was part of the power of like when I was working with Gym Launch was like they would do this thing where they would be very very specific about who they worked with to the point where they had this collective data. They could just make decisions based on all the gyms that they had under their control. And so if you guys, it's like if you just have like six different services you do, then you still don't have this collective data because it's still split across six different areas. Where if you're niching down into the niche, it becomes so much easier to scale. Obviously, your target market like does reduce, but overall you can still make a lot of money with that, and it'll be a lot easier, which is great.
Well, that's what happened. Like essentially at this point, because we're so specific, it's I know you know exactly how to speak to this particular client. Like I mean, I know your story so well that when I make an ad about it,
Mm,
then it's essentially it grabs their attention immediately, and then the process to get them to launch or get them to success is a lot faster because like you just said, it's not we don't have 6,000 things that we're trying to do anymore. We're doing these specific things because we know it's going to get you to this specific outcome.
that's exactly it, man. Yeah, cool. Um, and with the videography services, do you like fly out to clients and help them with that, or do you just like do it all online?
So video, I largely kind of shut that down. Like
Okay,
I work
so you
with
don't go
very
out and film with them or anything like that.
I used
Yeah.
to, but again, like that wasn't the vehicle to really get to where I was trying to get to. I have to go to all these different places all the time, and pretty much everybody's just looking for me to do it. So I couldn't really build a
Mm,
team around it.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's it's one of the things where it's so hard to scale. It is cool if you can do it. I've actually I was recently purchased a service from someone where they have like a whole system of teaching you how to film. So they have like a whole like for like reels and stuff. They're like what tripod to get, how to handle your phone,
Hmm.
settings, like, and then you film it all yourself and you send it to them. Takes a lot of work on my end, which is a bit annoying, but it is also one of the things where it's like it's a unique thing, you know. It's pretty cool. And so, how did you
Yeah.
find out about CCM in the first place? If I remember, you used to be an Easy Grow, right? And that's how we kind of got connected.
So the way we met, I was on, so you had actually your call, I think it was just starting. Like it was brand new in Easy Grow.
Mm.
And it was like it was a lead nurture or I think that was what it was called, the lead nurture call or whatever, something like that.
Yep, yep, yep.
And I jumped onto the call because I was trying to figure that out, and we spoke. And my main thing was I was asking you. I think my only question was essentially, look, I've got a lot of appointments, but the show up rate is horrible. What do I need to do?
Yes.
And you gave me this blueprint type. I don't even know. I think it was some note. It was a note, but it essentially had like a walkthrough of how to get people to show up. And I was like, all right, cool. Next time I see you, it'll be done. And so I literally went, changed everything about my lead nurture process, and then the my show up rate went from like what was it? It was like a dwindling 15 to 20, and I think it jumped to like 60% over like the next week. And then now we don't go lower. We don't go lower than that.
That
So
is
that's how we
that
met.
is that's how we met, and that's why you trusted me. And you're like, ah, this guy might know a thing or two. I love that. That's awesome. I remember you reached out to me. You're like, hey man, and I get a lot of people from like different groups reach out to me and stuff, and I always give them like a bit of help. But sometimes it's hard to know like who's actually serious about taking knowledge and like acting on it, and people that are just like kind of just asking just for whatever reason. I remember
Mhm.
you got back to me. You're like, oh, by the way, our show rate is increased by blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking good. Like, I'm so glad that
Yeah.
worked for you. That's awesome. Yeah. So then and then obviously over time, I guess you just like carried on kind of following my content and joining the calls, right? And then you just that's how you learn about it all, I guess, right?
Well, here's the thing. Like after that, so that, constraint was solved. So then we're starting to bring on a bunch of clients. And it doesn't take so many appointments to do it because people are actually showing up to these appointments. My next issue after being a part of that program was retention. How do I keep these clients? Because you bring on a bunch of clients and they're all supposed to be on this continuity, but if everybody's dropping off, then there's not really a whole lot of growth because it's not compounding at that point. And
Exactly.
so that was my very next issue, and I found I found a few different things that helped me to kind of get some solid processes in place, understand my onboarding process and how crucial that was, and kind of help out. But the thing was for my particular client, because again, just like we were talking about before, I had niche down, niche down, niche down, and it got real specific about with who I was working with. And what I realized was like that one point between the actual booking to the show up is well before the lead being generated to them booking to showing up is so crucial, and email and text message For others, it works because we don't just do lead generation. We can get those all day. But getting people to actually show up was a completely different ball game. What I realized is like I needed to take this a step further. The resources I had were for lead generation agencies. So that part, great. But actually getting the appointment to be set and people to show up was a different thing. I remembered the guy who had told me about how to get people to show up. And I looked into it. I saw that you had your dollar school group. I think you still
Yep.
have it.
I still
Yeah,
have
you
it.
had your,
Yep.
and so I looked at that, and I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't even thinking about everything else because I didn't know anything else about what was in the rest of the program. I just knew that you had this dashboard because that was another thing. I had to go from ad account to ad account to ad account. Okay, let me look at the funnel. Okay, let me go back to the ad account. Okay, let me see, and then I kind of figure out the numbers for the different clients. But I'm like, you got this fancy dashboard that
Yeah.
kind of shows you everything right there. And so I looked into it. I got the dollar program, and then I was like, I gotta figure out a call center. I forgot where the idea actually came from to actual. Oh no, I had built a call center. I had built it, and it was really bad. Like it was my test into it to kind of see if I could get proof of concept, so to speak.
Mm.
So once
Yep.
I built like some a duct tape call center together, and I realized okay, the results are pretty different with people actually calling. I need to take this up. I gotta develop this a lot more, and I don't know how. And so, of course, call center mastery is sitting right there. I get on the phone call. I believe his name was Sam Ryan. Ryan Sam
Brian,
Sam Ryan. Yes, I spoke to Ryan, and we talked about it. He showed me everything, and I'm like, all right, you know
let's
what?
do it.
I've just got to do it. Let's do it. And so,
Yeah.
then after that, I start to build the thing out. That's how I became like fully a part of it. Built the call center, or started to build the call center at that point, and then we started to get some really dramatic results after that. So.
Yeah. So good, man. Absolutely crushing it. I love that. And with the call center previously, what was so bad about it? What's going wrong with it?
So it just was, I think I had put together, I didn't know, I was pretty good when it came to go high level, and I was pretty good when it came to like certain automations on like Zapier and stuff like that. But I didn't have, it was so manual. Everything had to be done so manual, and I didn't have a real way of kind of managing the ISA team. And
Mm.
so they were doing it, they were making calls and everything, but I've got no tracking on like speed to lead. It takes it the next day is when we're getting to people. And I could see that I don't have any sort of dashboard to tell me that, but I'm like, this lead came in yesterday, and the first call is the next day. And so it's like we've got no way of kind of getting it
24
to the
hours speed to
people
lead.
fast.
That's always the
24 hours speed to lead.
that's what I preach.
So no, that was the issue because I'm like, we're not getting to them fast enough. And I don't really know how to get it. And I tried a few different things. I'm telling you, I tried a few different things. I'm like, okay, we can do this, and then it'll send it to you, and then, but I'm like, how is it going to send it to them too? And well, and so yeah, it just didn't make any sense. It just didn't make
Yeah.
any sense.
It's yeah, this is why you're here, man. That's exactly it. And did you have any kind of worries or fears before jumping into CCM? Anything that you're like, oh, is this gonna work? Or I don't know, anything on your mind?
I'm gonna be honest, because of the show up rate test. Um, I I didn't really have. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really have a whole lot of doubt about whether it was valuable or not. I'm
Okay.
like, I know, I know what this guy produces is gonna be fire because I've already seen like you just got the success, the testimonials and everything, but I'm like I've spoken to the fella, I've spoken to the guy, and I've gone through, I've seen these things, and I've seen the result of listening to what he has to say, and so that was not the question about whether it was valuable. It was like, can I afford to pay for this thing? That was I'm gonna be honest with you. That was all
See,
I was trying to figure
that's
out.
honestly the one of the big things, and it really you know we do. I probably shouldn't say this on like a public thing, but like we do payment plans and stuff. Like I know what we've got is valuable, and I hate to see someone not be able to join just because of like money. As silly as that is, obviously money is what we're all here for, but I think I also want to help a lot of people, and I feel like this program does help a lot of people. And obviously, people like yourself that go through it and they attest to that, which is great. So, yeah, if it's a case of like someone's like, oh, I'm a little bit, short this month, it's like we can figure it out. I'd hate to turn someone away like yourself who's going to massively benefit, and just because of a bit of cash flow, it's kind of stupid.
It's
Um,
valuable. What you
yeah,
got is valuable, so we'll
appreciate it,
do
man.
the thing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And how hard did you find to build it all out? I know you had a couple of there's a couple of moments on the coaching calls where it was like we were going through some stuff and we were technical side of
Mhm.
things. But you only jumped on a couple of
Yeah.
times. You didn't jump on too often. So like how hard did you find all of it to build it all out?
So I I did jump on with
Christian.
shoot, Christian a lot.
Oh, okay,
I
good. All right. That
did.
makes me feel good though, Mag. It means you're utilizing it, and it also means that Christian's doing a good job because like I'm usually the bottleneck. 'Cause obviously, I do coaching calls every day, right? So like, there's a point where like I remember at one point I had like 9 or 10 people joining all my coaching calls, and I was like, this is get like I need to get someone in who can like do a better job than
Mhm.
me, even. And that's why we hired Christian, and Christian's doing an absolute. He's a superstar, man. I love that guy. And so yeah, it's. Okay, that's good to know. So you didn't jump on my calls too often, but you jumped on a lot of his calls. That's great. So you found it because obviously I do explain it in the videos like how to build it out, but like there is a lot. That's why we have the coaching calls every day, man. Because imagine if we didn't
Well,
have them coaching calls and I just went, here you go, here's the videos, good luck, or I had a coaching call once a
yeah.
week. You probably would have given up on the system because like if you get stuck on something, you need help.
Yeah, no, and I don't want to devalue the actual videos either. Like you the because some you can take a course of program and they might give you like a 3 minute video saying, "Hey guys, so this is what you got to do," and then that's the end of the video. And then like they'll just say like 1, 2, 3, boom, and then you should be able to figure out the rest. But the rest is everything you actually need to know, and they don't have that. Or
Yeah.
they'll give you some sort of Google Doc to go through, and it's like this doesn't help me. But no, like yours, I put together the speed to lead system. Um, I put it together within the next week, and I put it together individually for each client. And this was my fault. This is my fault. I shouldn't I did it wrong, but ended up have I duplicated the process for like 12 different clients when I only needed to do it one time for all of the clients. But because you were so thorough in those videos and you had the resources there, you had the resources there too that I was able to build it so many gosh dang times. So that system, I mean, that's like the back of my hand at this point.
Yeah. And do you feel like you've learned a lot of skills in the sense of like you can do other things with the stuff you've learned now?
Dude, man, it's that part, I mean, there's so many bits of information inside of the program that I think are incredibly valuable. Like, and I think after you start to build it out, and I'm not just saying that, but like when you build it and the way that it's taught to build it, you have an understanding of systems that I've never really gotten from other things. And after building it, like my understanding of make, but just automations in general, how to tie
Mm.
different platforms together and how to get them to kind of show up one in a dashboard, but also to connect these people to this thing that connects to this over here and then loops it around there and then brings it back to something that you can actually use. That's been incredibly valuable to me because from the understanding of CCM and what was built with it, I've been able to also create other things. So like if I had the understanding of CCM when I did my duct tape call center, I would have done way better with my duct tape call center because of the understanding that I now have because I'm a part of the program.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's spot on, man. What have been your favorite parts?
I would say favorite part was one, the speed to lead system, being able to get that done so fast. Because that translated to a pretty significant result pretty quickly.
Yep.
Um, and I think the next thing would be the dashboard because it gives, and now that's the part that I really had to get on the coaching calls for, like for the most part, because the speed to lead system was built. And then I was on to the reporting section and I was really trying to figure out, okay, how do you actually build this dashboard? The thing that I saw originally that I wanted to make, didn't know how to make. That took some time. That took some time for me. But that right there, actually having it work, gave me eyes. And
Mm,
I'm telling you, if you do any sort of, if you have an agency like this or any sort of digital advertising agency, whatever, and you've got more than two clients, three clients, then it becomes a real, it takes a lot of time to really actually to like analyze each particular account, and then measure the results from each account. Because I had a dashboard for every single client, for all of the performance of their ads, and so it had to be manually put in every single day to see how the ads are performing. Then I would take that information and then we compare it to their booking platform. How many appointments actually turned into, or how many booking, or how many leads turned into actual appointments. And so after a certain point, it's that will literally take you, that's a full-time job. Like it
yeah.
becomes a full-time job. So the dashboard, being able to just have it right there and switch to a different account and then put the timeline. Are you kidding me?
So much better, right? So much, it's so much cleaner. And once you've got the data, it's a superpower. If you don't have the data, you can't make decisions. You're just acting off your emotions. If you've actually got the data, then it's a completely different level. You can do so much more of it, which is incredible, right? And with your setters now,
100%.
then, so like with the course and the way it's running, like how's it all going now? How are the setters finding it? How's it all working?
So as of right now, the people, so the setters are doing great. We're getting every lead in under 5 minutes.
Awesome.
The channels I guess the biggest thing was people just getting familiar with Slack. But once they got it, they've got it. The speed to lead system again wasn't something that they had to really figure out too much, because as soon as they understood, as soon as they got what, okay, this is what you need to do, this is where to go, this is how to look, boom, they were off to the races. And so the leads channel, the watch shift calls channel blows up with leads, and then they just jump on it. I mean, almost instantly, especially with the links and everything with the SOP documents. That wasn't a thing that I had. So it's like, and we weren't so niche down. So now it's more similar. But before it was like, you if you have that document, you got this kind of salon over here, and you got to switch to the script. So which means you also have to have a Google document up with this script, and then you have to go to the next section to figure out what to say here. But I mean, they jumped into it immediately. And another beautiful thing about the actual program and the system that is given to you from the program is that it's scalable. Like I
Mm,
know I can plop. I literally did this. I plopped a new ISA right into it, and they jumped into it. Was immediate. Like their ability to just adapt to it was almost instant. Now definitely want to give them their flowers, because I hired a good person, one. But
absolutely.
the second thing is the system wasn't hard for them to kind of understand. They went straight into it and they could immediately
Simple.
be effective. What I had
Mm.
before, if I tried to put somebody new into it, it was like, okay, now let's just take about a week to just understand what the heck is going on.
It's like the onboarding process as well is such a big thing, like making sure that they know what to do and how to use it. And so many people again don't even have to hire ISAs, let alone train them up. So obviously we try to incorporate all that as much as possible. So yeah, I love that, man. That's great. Um, this has been so good, man. Anyone that's like potentially thinking of joining CCM, what would you say to recommend them if they're watching this video?
If you are on the fence, you're trying to figure out whether CCM is the program that's going to help you, not going to help you, is it just going to be a waste of money? Am I going to be wasting my time? Do I even know enough to be able to build the things that is inside of the program? I would say this. Call center ministry is 100% the answer for you if you have an agency and the problem is one, retention, and two, setting. Because look, the
Mm,
reality is everything that you have inside of this particular program, he's not just letting you off so that you can fend for yourself and he's giving you a couple nuggets of information, but this is actual hands on material, written, video, and literally they will jump on. You can jump onto a coaching call where he's going to walk you through step by step, screen share and everything. Actually, shoot, let him control your screen and he's going to walk you through exactly how to make it. And so The reality is, if this is something that you're thinking about, you think it might be helpful for you, I'd say go in, go all in, because the return on the investment will be significant, but not just significant. It'll be seen almost instantly. Get it built, get it running, build your team, and I'm telling you, you won't regret it.
Martell, that is one of the best finishes I've ever heard. That was incredible, man. Thank you so much for coming on here. Thank you so much for just being a great client as well, man. Like you put the effort in, you're seeing the results, which is great. And I don't want to swear, but you're gonna freaking crush it, man. You're doing so good, man. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for jumping on. Appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.